Welcome to the very first episode of Lead in 10. I'm your host, Chris Moore. I am thrilled that you've decided to join me on this journey of leadership and faith. Today, we're starting the most fundamental principle of Christian leadership, one that Jesus himself modeled perfectly. Ever wondered why the best leaders often seem to be the best servants? There's a profound reason for that connection, and it goes against almost everything that our culture teaches about leadership. Whether you're leading a ministry, a business, a classroom, or a family, this principle has the power to transform not just how you lead, but why you lead. So let's open the Word together and discover the foundation of truly impactful leadership. Matthew 20:25 through 28. But Jesus called them unto him and said, Ye know that the princes of the Gentiles exercise dominion over them, and they that are great exercise authority upon them. But it shall not be so among you. But whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister. And whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant. Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life a ransom for many. This is so counter to our culture today, and it's coming directly from Jesus. So let's dive deeper into what this means for us as leaders. If we're honest with ourselves, this passage directly confronts our natural leadership instincts. Think about it. When most of us first step into leadership positions, what are we focused on? It's the title, the recognition, the authority, maybe even the perks. There's something in human nature that craves the validation that comes with leadership. We want that corner office. We want people to respect our opinions. We want our vision to be implemented. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with any of that, but Jesus is pointing out a fundamental truth about how we approach leadership. The rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them. That word, lord it over, it carries a sense of dominating or controlling others. It's leadership by position rather than by influence. It's authority without relationship. It's demanding respect rather than earning it. And if we're completely honest, this approach to leadership is alive and well today, even in our Christian organizations. We see it when leaders make decisions without considering the impact on their team. Communication flows only downward, never upward. Feedback is seen as a threat rather than a gift. The well-being of the team is sacrificed for results. Leaders expect privileges that others just don't receive. These patterns reveal something about our human nature. We often equate leadership with being served rather than serving. And that's precisely what Jesus is addressing. He says, not so with you. This isn't just a gentle suggestion. It's a direct command. Christian leadership cannot operate by the world's playbook. The desire for status and recognition doesn't just disappear when we become leaders. But Jesus calls us to a different path, one that puts others before ourselves, one that measures greatness not by how many serve us, but by how many we serve. That's a paradigm shift that changes everything. Now let's shift our focus. What does this passage reveal about God's character and what he values? Jesus makes it clear that God values humility and service over authority and position. In God's kingdom, the path to greatness runs directly through servanthood. This isn't just a nice theological concept. Jesus embodied this truth completely. Think about it. The creator of the universe, the one who spoke stars into existence, the King of kings and Lord of lords, wrapped himself in human flesh, and he served. He even washed dirty feet. He touched the untouchable. He prioritized the marginalized. And ultimately, as he says in our passage, the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. His service culminated in the ultimate sacrifice, giving his life for ours. That's the heart of God. He doesn't just teach servanthood. He doesn't say it. He demonstrates it. And in doing so, he reveals that true power isn't about position or authority. It's about the willingness to put others first. It's about leveraging your strength for another's benefit. It's about using your resources to meet others' needs. That's the kind of leader God is. And that's the kind of leader he calls us to be. So how do we apply this servant leadership model into our everyday? Well, let me share 4 practical ways to lead by serving that can transform your leadership and make it more effective. You may have some others, but let's look at these 4. Number 1, invert the organizational chart in your mind. Traditional leadership sees the organizational chart as a pyramid with the leader on the top. Servant leadership flips that pyramid upside down. The leader is at the bottom, supporting everyone else. When you see yourself as supporting your team rather than being supported by them, everything changes. Your question changes from what can my team do for me to what can I do for my team? Or from how can they help me succeed to how can I help them succeed? This middle shift alone can revolutionize your leadership approach. Number 2, develop a deep understanding of your team's needs. You cannot serve effectively if you don't know what they need. And the only way to discover that is by asking questions and listening. I mean, really listening. Set up regular one-on-ones that go beyond just someone giving you a project update and ask questions like, what obstacles are you facing that I could help you remove? What resources would make your job easier, more effective? Where do you feel like you have strengths that we just aren't using? What aspects of your role energize you and what drains you? When you understand these things about each one of your team members, you can serve them in ways that truly matter. Here's the beautiful paradox. When you focus on serving their needs, they become more engaged and more capable of meeting the organization's needs. Number 3, be the first to sacrifice and the last to benefit. In challenging seasons, servant leaders model sacrifice. If budget cuts are necessary, they start with their own budget. If late hours are required to meet a deadline, they're there right alongside the team. If there's recognition to be shared, they start by highlighting the team's contributions before their own. Jesus gave his life a ransom for many. While most leadership positions won't require we to give that ultimate sacrifice, they do require daily, smaller sacrifices. Sacrificing your time, your comfort, your preferences, your convenience, and your recognition. These daily choices to put others first build a culture where trust and loyalty flourish because teams don't ultimately follow titles. They follow people, people who genuinely care about them. Number 4, start measuring your success by your team's growth. Traditional leadership often measures success by our own personal achievements, our visibility, the leader's influence, the recognition. Servant leadership measures success differently. Are our team members growing in their roles? Are they developing new skills? Are they being prepared for greater responsibility? Are they becoming more confident in their abilities? When you make others' growth a priority, you create a legacy that extends far beyond your own leadership tenure. You don't just build an organization, you build people, and building people is what Jesus was all about. So let's review what we covered. Matthew chapter 20, verses 25 through 28 teaches us that while the world's leadership model is about exercising authority, kingdom leadership is about exercising service. We've seen that our natural inclination is often to seek status and recognition in leadership, but God values humility and service above position and authority. And we've explored 4 practical ways to lead by serving: inverting the organizational chart in your mind, developing a deep understanding of your team's needs, being the first to sacrifice and the last to benefit, measuring success by your team's growth. So here's your challenge for this week. Take some time, perhaps 10 minutes after you finish this episode, and reflect on specific ways you can serve your team right now. Ask yourself, what's one tangible act of service I can do for each person that I lead each week? Maybe it's just removing an obstacle they've been facing. Maybe it's providing something that they've been asking for. Maybe it's simply just giving your undivided attention for once and really listening to what they're saying and why they're saying it. Whatever it is, make it specific and make it happen. Because when you prioritize serving over being served, you don't just become a better leader, you become more like Christ. And ultimately, that's the goal of Christian leadership. Thank you for joining me for this first episode of Lead in 10. If this message resonated with you, I'd be grateful if you'd share it with another leader who might be encouraged. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss our weekday devotionals and additional resources for servant leadership. Visit us at leadin10.com. We're just getting that started and up and running, but be sure to visit there. Until tomorrow, remember that measure of your leadership isn't how well you're served, but how well you serve.